What mistakes should I avoid in my estate plan? Hi, I'm Neil Tyra. I'm an estate planning attorney in Rockville, Maryland, and I do estate plans for regular folks like you and me. Now, this question came up with a potential client who said to me, I've watched a whole bunch of your videos, but it's kind of like trying to take a sip of water from a fire hose. There's just so much information there. Is there any way you can give me kind of a top-down view? I thought, well, that's a really good idea. So here we're going to discuss the 6 major mistakes that people make in their estate plans and how you can avoid them. So number one, the worst mistake is not having a will or a trust, or having a poorly drafted one, or one that hasn't been updated in a long time. So the clear way to get around that is to contact your estate planning attorney and get that thing either written or up to date. Make sure that it reflects exactly what you want it to at this point in your life. Number two, beneficiary mistakes. One of the pieces of homework we give all of our clients is a roadmap to go through their non-probate assets that have beneficiary statements, and make sure those beneficiary statements are up to date and say exactly what they want them to say. You cannot believe how many people discover mistakes as a result of doing that one piece of homework. Number three, communication mistakes. This is probably the biggest area where you can contribute to the success of your plan and the peace and comfort of your family. Engage them in the conversation. It's not a secret. Make sure they understand what your plan is and what it says and why it says it the way you want it to. Okay. You want to educate them now, not leave them wondering after you're gone. Um, Number four, tax mistakes. Now, there's not a lot of taxing that has to go on in terms of estate plans, because the current federal exemption on how large an estate has to be before it is taxed is pretty high. Under the current administration, I expect it to stay there, but something you should discuss with your estate planning attorney or your financial planner. For the most part, generally speaking, we don't have to worry too much about taxes. Five, gifting mistakes. You want to make sure that if you leave a cash gift in your estate plan, that there are assets liquid enough to be able to cover that gift. You can't promise $50,000 to somebody and then not have the cash in your estate, forcing your family to sell the home, for instance, in order to raise the cash to satisfy that $50,000 request. And lastly, planning mistakes are critical to avoid. You want to make sure you have a power of attorney in place, a healthcare directive in place, because they go hand in hand with the rest of your estate plan. So you want to make sure you have an overall comprehensive plan. So those are the 6 biggest areas where you can improve your chances of having a successful estate plan. As I said, my name is Neil Tyra. I'm an estate planning attorney in Rockville, Maryland, and I do estate plans for regular folks like you and me.